Hi guys, Piotr here, this is LiteFinance Global YouTube channel. It's my pleasure to be with you again. Big week when it comes to the Forex market. FX market is going to behave in the rhythm of the central bank's rate decision. We do have FOMC, we do have Swiss National Bank, Bank of Japan and Bank of England. So without a further delay, let's jump straight into the charts. Okay, so of course, the most important is going to be the FOMC. So what the Fed is going to do. The Fed is on Wednesday and the expectations are another 75 basis points, but there are some speculation after the latest CPI that we might see maybe 1%. Well, I don't know. There are two camps, right? The hawks and the doves. Well, at some point we might get into the conversation that the dollar is too strong, but on the other hand, the strong currency is helping with the high inflation, so that might not be the case. Is it going to be dovish hike or ultra hawk hike? Anyway, that's the FOMC. Also, we do have Bank of Japan, so let's start with the dollar yen. Since March, as you can see, there is only one-way ticket and we already hit almost 145. That's the weekly chart. So let's have a look what we have and where we have some kind of the supports and demands. Weekly chart, so we are going to use the blue color, right? There you go. So the first, based on the weekly charts, first serious level of the possible demand is around 139, of course 140 as a psychological level as well, right? That's the point number one, and it's very, very important. When it comes to the levels to the upside, well, that's quite interesting, because if we are going to get some easiest on the earth measures, right? So looks like we already make equal move to the upside, and that's why probably we've seen these upper shadows over here. So on one hand, the difference in the interest rates is of course favoring the US dollar, but the slowing global economy and the troubles mounting around, they might a little bit support the yen. Well, the Bank of Japan is also watching very, very carefully. With the very low value of the currency, they are bringing inflation into the country, right? So that might not be that good thing. And in case of any kind of the intervention correction, we might see retest of 140, 139, especially if we are going to try to check the size of the correction. So let's have a look what we have here. Just 1 second, and there you go. Right, that's the size of the correction. So if we are going to bring that down, we might see attack on that earlier mentioned levels, and or we might have the very, very shallow correction, and that's going to bring us to 140, 139 as discussed before. So that's the medium term. Let's have a look what we have, and of course, sorry, just let me finish. And if we are talking about the further move to the upside, so from 139 we might see further move up towards 150, and that might be the target. So medium term 150, 140, 139 as a possible demand zone. Let's have a look what we have when it comes to the daily chart. Here the things looks like a little bit different, all right? We have quite a few things to watch out. Well, this broken trend line over here looks quite interesting, and I'm going to watch very carefully the beginning of the week. That might be the sign that we might see a little bit lower levels, but I'm not going to try to front run, and I'm going to wait and see. So from the short-term perspective, there is a possibility that, for example, we are going to have a little bit of the pullback, trying to fill the swing high and retesting 141.39. So looking for the price action around 140, 450, 145 from the short term. Possibility to move lower, and then again 141.39 from the possibility to go higher up towards 150. That's how the things looks like when it comes to the Fed and Bank of Japan, when it comes to the dollar yen. So the next one, we do have Swiss National Bank. So let's have a look what we have when it comes to the dollar Swiss franc. And well, surprise, surprise, we are still below the parity. We were testing the parity. All right, we were testing the parity, but the bulls, when it comes to the dollar, were not able to move through the roof and closing above. So, well, the Swiss franc is behaving how the Japanese yen should behave, right? But anyway, how does the things looks like? So, to the downside, when it comes to the Swiss franc, we are trying to hold level close to 94, and that's going to be the demand zone. When it comes to the upside, of course, the parity. So we have 6 figures range as of now. In case of the break to the upside, we might target 106. In case of the break to the downside, we might target 0.88 in that case, right? Because we are doing the measurement based on the range. That's how the things looks like here when it comes to the dollar Swiss franc. So trade the range 94 parity, and in case of the daily weekly close above parity, look for 105, 106. In case of daily weekly close below 94, looks for 88, and that's the level over here. Equal moves possible. All right. So that's the Swiss National Bank, and we do have Bank of England, and the market expectations are half point 50 basis point hike, but pound is going even lower, and well, we haven't seen pound at this level for quite some time. Steep move to the downside, so of course before we are going to try to move higher, we need some kind of the consolidation, but current price action even didn't remind me about some kind of the consolidation. So we might see at the very beginning of the week, we might see attempt to short covering, and if Bank of England is not going to surprise us, we might see market is trying to move down towards 110 and medium term even towards the parity. So that's the quite interesting thing from the short term perspective. When it comes to the pound, well, it's all about some levels, critical levels. So this broken swing low plus this consolidation, in that case we are talking about the supply around 118, very strong supply at this level, and we have to remember about that. In case of the rally, we have swing high around 117.25 as a supply as well. To the downside, well, I think the equal moves, and that's how we can try to measure where we might see some kind of the profit taking when it comes to the short. So that was the first move, that was the second move, we hit that already. Now, either we are going to just make the consolidation as we did here, so in that case we might have 116 as a possible target to the upside, or we might see this type of the move. In that case we are going to retest the swing high around 117, and finally this type of the correction we already seen 3 times, as you can see, right here, here, and here. And if we are trying to make the turnover, then the level we discussed before around the swing high 118 is a supply. So 3 possible supply levels. If you are a bear, targeting 110. If you are a buyer, then you are making the measures and still a little bit to the downside eventually. So that's how the things looks like when it comes to the pound versus USD. So please do your own homework, do your own research, try to check other crosses, try to check Euro Swiss franc, for example, or pound Swiss franc, how they are behaving. You might want to see Australian dollar versus Japanese yen. So I do expect a lot of action around this week, so be careful, especially that we are approaching end of the month, end of the quarter as well. Do your own homework, do your own research. Wish you great next trading day. See you around, take care, and goodbye.